Liverpool were declining, didn't you? You felt that Klopp's era had ended, and that fantastic Liverpool side we got to enjoy over the last 5 years was no more. Well, the majority of football fans thought that too. After all, Liverpool had a catastrophic 2022-2023 campaign in which they won no trophies and missed out on Champions League qualification. They conceded 47 goals, the most they ever conceded since the 2015-16 season, when they finished 8th. After 5 years of relentless front foot football, it looked like the Reds could no longer cope with the intensity of the Premier League. But wait a second, what if we told you all of those assumptions were wrong? In fact, Jurgen Klopp started to reshape his Liverpool squad and his tactics even before the end of last season. So, if you want to learn about Liverpool's drop-off in the previous campaign, and how Jurgen Klopp has turned things around, and why the Reds are so good this season, and potential title contenders, then hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for daily football content, and make sure you watch this video right until the end. FA Cup and EFL Cup winners, Champions League finalists, and 92 points in the Premier League to finish second, just 1 point behind the eventual champions Manchester City. That was how Liverpool finished the 2021-2022 campaign. The Reds obliterated their opponents, thrashing Manchester United 9-0 in both home and away league games. They also topped the Champions League group of death with 6 wins out of 6 against AC Milan, Atletico Madrid, and FC Porto. It was a fantastic campaign despite the heartbreak of losing the Champions League final against Real Madrid and missing out on the league title after City won their final game. So it looked like a few additions here, and that would be enough for the Reds to keep competing on all fronts. Darwin Núñez was brought in from Benfica for €80 million, and Fabio Carvalho's deal was also completed for €5 million. Liverpool also brought in Calvin Ramsey from Aberdeen, and then Arthur Melo on loan from Juventus while promoting the promising academy product, Stefan Bajcetic. Meanwhile, the club also sold the likes of Sadio Mane, Nico Williams, Minamino, and Marco Gruch. Yes, it looked like Mane's departure would affect Jurgen Klopp's playing style. The Senegalese played a crucial part in the Reds' attack with Bobby Firmino and Mohamed Salah. However, this theory didn't stand long as Liverpool managed to beat Manchester City 3-1 in the 2022 Community Shield, with newcomer Darwin Núñez scoring his first goal on his debut. Everything looked in place, and the Reds seemed ready to go again in the 2022-2023 campaign. Unfortunately, that was not the case. Liverpool won none of their opening 3 Premier League games. They drew 2-2 with newly promoted Fulham, drew 1-1 at home against Crystal Palace with Darwin Núñez receiving a red card, and then lost away against Manchester United. The Reds looked out of sync and shape, with the back 4 failing to keep clean sheets. However, Liverpool managed to bounce back at home against Bournemouth, recording their biggest win in the Premier League era with a 9-0 victory. However, after a win against Newcastle and a draw with Everton in the Merseyside derby, Liverpool were utterly outclassed by Napoli in the Champions League, losing 4-1 in Naples. The results were simply inconsistent. Liverpool would draw at home against Brighton, lose 3-2 to Arsenal, thrash Rangers 7-1 in the Champions League, beat City and West Ham in the league, but then lose to Nottingham Forest. They were also eliminated from the EFL Cup 4th round by the Citizens. It was a complete rollercoaster for Liverpool supporters. However, things really went downhill at the beginning of the 2023 calendar year. 3-1 loss to Brentford, 3-0 loss to Brighton, 0-0 with a struggling Chelsea, and 3-0 to Wolverhampton, while crashing out of the FA Cup 4th round against Brighton thanks to Mitoma's last-minute goal. To make matters worse, Liverpool were humiliated 5-2 by Real Madrid at home in the Champions League round of 16. The Reds picked themselves up with a historic 7-0 win against Manchester United at Anfield, only to lose against Bournemouth, Real Madrid, and then Manchester City in the following 3 games. This run of form can summarise Liverpool's 2022-2023 campaign. Jordan Henderson, Fabinho, Milner, Thiago, and Naby Keita drastically dropped physically. Liverpool's midfield was overrun by nearly every opponent they faced, with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Van Dijk struggling to pick up their form. It was almost impossible for Alisson to keep clean sheets despite his very impressive performances. Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Fabio Carvalho also failed to provide the needed qualities to replace the aging Liverpool midfield. Arthur Melo, who came on loan from Juventus, featured for just 13 minutes, and only Stefan Bajcetic showed some promise when he was introduced to the first 11. The pressing structure was out of shape, the midfield was lost, and the defensive line was exposed in every transition, putting the likes of Alexander-Arnold under much scrutiny. However, this wasn't the first time Klopp faced issues during his Liverpool tenure. During the 2020-2021 season, the German had to adapt to life without Van Dijk, who sustained a season-ending injury caused by Jordan Pickford. Still, after everyone wrote Liverpool off, Klopp finished the season in 3rd after going on an 8-game unbeaten streak streak? Well, the German nearly did something similar. Liverpool went 11 games without any loss and won 7 consecutive games in the last stages of the Premier League campaign. The return of injured Diogo Jota and the addition of Cody Gakpo helped the Reds be more clinical in front of goal. However, the main turning point of the season was when Klopp decided to invert Trent Alexander-Arnold to midfield to get more on the ball, with Konate providing the 1v1 cover in wide areas. Unfortunately, the Reds' efforts ended in vain as they finished 5th, 4 points off a Champions League qualifying spot. And this brings us to the current season. Klopp obviously knew the significant issues in his squad, so he decided to completely overhaul his midfield. Fabinho and Henderson were all sold, Keita, Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain all left as a free agent, and Fabio Carvalho joined RB Leipzig on loan. In order to replace all of these players, Liverpool splashed around 170 million euros to bring in Dominic Szoboszlai, Alexis McAllister, Wataru Endo, and Ryan Gravenberch. It is also worth noting that the Reds were keen on getting Moises Caicedo and Romeo Lavia, however both players decided to join Chelsea instead. Liverpool started the campaign with a 1-1 draw against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Still, their midfield issues seemed to persist as they struggled to keep possession of the ball, which resulted in them being too direct during the game. However, things got better for the Reds. Despite going 1-0 down early on against Bournemouth at home, they still managed to turn the game around thanks to goals from Luis Diaz, Mo Salah, and Diogo Jota, which earned them 3 points even after having Alexis McAllister sent off during the game. Liverpool performed another magnificent comeback against Newcastle away in the following match day after going 1-0 down in the first half with Van Dijk receiving a red card. The Reds still won the game thanks to a clinical brace from Darwin Núñez, who came on as a substitute. In the third game of the campaign, Liverpool absolutely battered Unai Emery's Aston Villa with a 3-0 win thanks to goals from Szoboszlai, Cash in his own net, and Mohamed Salah. Jurgen Klopp's men kept the tradition of returning from behind in the 4th league game against Wolverhampton away. The home side took the lead in the first half and were much better than Liverpool. However, with Klopp introducing Diaz in place of McAllister in the second half, the Reds started to put pressure and ended up winning 3-1 with Gakpo, Robertson, and Wolves' Bono scoring the goals. 13 points in 5 games with 12 goals scored and just 4 conceded highlights how much Liverpool have improved compared to last season. So let us take a look how Klopp has managed to bring Liverpool back. The German started the season with his usual 4-3-3 setup, with Alisson in goal, Robertson, Van Dijk, Konate and Arnold in the back 4, McAllister as the lone 6, with Gakpo as a left-sided midfielder and Szoboszlai as a right-sided midfielder. Diaz, Jota and Salah formed the front line, with Darwin Núñez mainly coming off of the bench as he has only started the Villa game. The Gakpo midfield experiment didn't go as planned, so Klopp decided to reintroduce Curtis Jones to the starting 11 while Gakpo in his natural position. The change helped Liverpool gain more control of the midfield as Jones could do the Gini Wijnaldum role. He can withstand pressure and progress the ball up the field. However, his most valuable trait and also the most unnoticeable is his out of possession work rate, which helps Liverpool's fullbacks push forward. Klopp also kept inverting Trent to get him more involved in the build-up phase, with Núñez, Salah and Jota making explosive in-behind runs. The English right-back can set through on goal due to his exceptional passing qualities. However, inverting Trent would leave acres of space for opponents to target. Well, with Konate, Gomez and Matip fit to play, Liverpool has the required athleticism to cover wide areas left by Trent, which resulted in them improving defensively. Dominic Szoboszlai has also been a midfield monster so far. Not only did he provide the needed creativity and accurate shots in the final third, but he has also covered the most distance so far with 57.7 kilometers, while also recording the fastest top speed with 36.76 kilometers per hour. That is what you call an upgrade on the departing Jordan Henderson. And let us not forget the Egyptian king, Mo Salah, with Szoboszlai and McAllister providing the breath of fresh air in the midfield and making consistent runs into the half spaces, and with Robertson crashing the box with the likes of Núñez, Gakpo and Jota, Mo has become a creative monster, providing 4 assists and scoring 2 goals in his first 5 games. Liverpool has massively improved both in performances and results compared to last season. The midfield issues are looking to be solved, with Wataru Endo and Ryan Gravenberch in the squad and depth better than ever. So it wouldn't be a surprise to see Liverpool compete with Manchester City and Arsenal for the Premier League title this season. Do you think that Jurgen Klopp has fully turned the situation around, or is it just a temporary purple patch before other issues start to emerge? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily football content. Thank you guys